On Friday, a judge in India will hand down a sentence to 4 men who gang raped a woman on a New Delhi bus. Well, a new report shows that rape is not just a serious problem in India, but right across the Asia-Pacific region. The UN surveyed 10,000 men, discovering that 1 in 4 admitted to raping a woman. The report reveals alarming attitudes towards women and sex. Karen Percy reports.
It's the largest study of its kind undertaken in the developing world. From 2010 to 2013, 10,000 men from Indonesia, Cambodia, Bangladesh, China, Papua New Guinea and Sri Lanka were quizzed on their views on a range of gender and violence issues. They were candid in their responses. Almost half of them said they had engaged in physical or sexual violence against women. About a quarter of them admitted to rape, saying they had forced or coerced women to have sex with them. The survey involved men aged 18 to 49, and even the researchers were surprised at how open they were. The key was in using tablet technology, with the questionnaires available in local languages.
And it enabled us to ask the most sensitive questions to men around rape perpetration, for example, in a totally anonymous way. And so I think that really has enabled us to collect this kind of groundbreaking data for the first time.
Women in Papua New Guinea were at greatest risk. More than 80% of men in Bougainville said they had hurt or sexually violated their partners or a stranger. More than 1 in 5 PNG survey participants admitted to gang rape. A total of 3,000 women were also involved. In China, there appears to be a low tolerance for the argument that women deserve to be beaten by their partners. Yet Chinese men were more likely to pay for sex than other participants. Women were also part of the Cambodian study. Almost half of them agreed that a woman could refuse to have sex with her husband. But more than 80% of them agreed that it wasn't rape if a woman didn't fight back. It shows that societal as well as individual attitudes have to change.
Violence against women certainly is pervasive across the Asia-Pacific region, as it is indeed globally. But we found also a diversity of rates of violence across the different sites we studied, and I think that diversity points to the fact that violence is not inevitable.
While there were differences across the region, there were common factors like poverty, poor education and alcohol problems. The report reveals that many of the perpetrators themselves had been victims as children. They started their own abusive behaviour when they were in their teens, and most knew they would get away with it, believing they were entitled to have sex, whether a woman consented or not. For researchers, it raises questions about gender inequality, as well as societal acceptance of violence and what it means to be a man.
We need to work to try and stop rape happening in the first place. And by working with young boys, for example, to try and change what they understand around consent, respectful relationships and healthy sexual practices.
Sydney University professor Raewyn Connell took part in the project, hearing story after story of men and women affected by war, genocide and social upheaval. But there are signs that communities like one she visited in Cambodia are starting to act.
Any men in the village who become known as perpetrators of violence against their partners, their spouses, then, become the focus of debate and criticism.
But that local action, she says, needs to be backed by society.
We want legislation, we want constant pressure from social authorities, politicians, religious figures, and so forth, to convey the message that beating women is wrong, is criminal.
The Australian government helped fund the study, which aims to find targeted ways to prevent abuse for future generations. Karen Percy, Lateline.